yeah, I think I'm all good to go. So let's stay on. Let's hopefully see and make sure that there's no oh, why is this happening to me? Okay then guys, we're back, and as you can see I've got everything plugged in pretty much where I need it to be, and yeah, I think we're pretty much good to go. Was a bit of a ball ache, did take a little bit of a while, because like I said, there's not a whole lot of space. I think there's only like this amount of space, because you've got the drive cage and you've got the actual power supply which slots into under there. So yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of space for cable management. I think I've just about managed to make it as tidy as I possibly can. This kind of annoys me a little bit, but you know what, at this point I'm willing to just say let's just fuck it, let's just do it, get it done. So yeah, pretty much I reckon I've got everything plugged in, and yeah, I think I'm all good to go. So let's stay on. Let's hopefully see and make sure that there's no oh, why is this happening to me? Why oh god, I don't know if it's just my PC building skills or it's just me in general. I generally have shitty luck in life. And this is no exception. Oh god, what's up with it now? It's getting power. You can see it's getting power. Look, the motherboard's lit up. It's got a green light on the motherboard, so I'm assuming that means it's getting power, and you know, a sufficient amount of power. Graphics cards all set up. You know, I've got the right power connectors and cables in there. And even then, even if it didn't, it wouldn't stop it from powering on. So I'm lost. I don't know, guys. I really don't. Here I was thinking that this would be the end game. We'd turn it on, check and make sure the temperatures aren't spiking again, get Windows installed, get the cam software, get everything all settled in, get the programs that I needed, maybe put an overclock on it, and we'd be good to go and it'd be happily ever after. But apparently not. Apparently fate has conspired to kick me squarely in the nuts once more. So yeah, I've got to fucking get all that cable managed shit out again and figure out what's going on back there. I don't know whether pushing the power supply maybe have knocked one of the connections loose, but again, I don't think so, because everything's getting power. Fuck my life. Right, I'll be back in a second because I've got to go figure out what the fuck is going on with this. So yep. See you in the next segment if I haven't slipped my wrists or something. Why? Okay then guys, we're back, and I've checked everything. I've checked all the connections. I've pulled out the power supply to have a look and make sure nothing's come loose when I tried to push it into the actual the case. I've checked the front panel connectors, which are basically just get that focused in a little bit. It's just over here. These are the front panel connectors here. It won't focus in because it's a pain in the backside. I apologise. There we go. So yeah, it's these ones just here. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you can see this. The motherboard's getting power. This has got power. So it's not the power supply. So let's just see if it works this time. Hopefully it does. Nope. I don't know then, guys. What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything? I don't even think I'm forgetting anything. That's the thing. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I've got everything plugged in. There's nothing back there in terms of the cables, which is just at a loose end apart from the HDMI. because you've got a front panel HDMI connector up here, and it runs through the back, so you can run it through the back and out to your graphics card, if that makes sense. But I don't need that because I'm not using the front panel HDMI, and the HDMI is plugged into the the monitor's plugged in. You can just see there the light is on, just here. Apologies about a dusty screen. That's going to be getting cleaned up and moved into another room soon. I don't know. I just don't know. That's plugged in as it should be. Everything else is plugged in as it should be, as far as I'm aware. I'm not missing anything. So yeah. I don't know. I am completely fucking baffled right now as to what the issue could be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've checked. So to give you a half decent view of that, that's where the front panel connectors are. So I've tried to check as many of them as I can, but as you can see, not exactly easy to get to. I can get to it a little bit around that side, and what I believe would be the because I think it all just comes down in correspondence to where it is. So this last one up here will probably be for one of these, the USB or the HDMI or whatever's, and the one at the far end, which you can just see just there, just at the tip of my finger, that's what I believe for the power button. And I've tracked it, and it runs down to here where it should be. So yeah, I don't know. So I've looked at the manual, I've checked everything, so I'm lost. I don't know what's going on, because like I said, I think we could rule out the power supply being duff because, well, things have power. Let's try it this way with this. I don't know. I don't think nothing's been damaged. It's not like I've been moving it around. It's been under the desk since I removed the power supply, and that's where it stayed. So I don't know. If you have suggestions, leave a comment down below. Hopefully I'll get it sorted, but before this video goes out, I'll probably have the problem sorted and I'll be all good to go and everything. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking and keep checking and make sure everything is connected as it is. It's not just a loose connection. But I mean, if it was a loose connection on something, then if it was like saying a central thing, like say the CPU or the motherboard or the this, it would still come up and it would tell you. You know, it had that before when I first turned it on. It said, oh, okay, the RAM isn't plugged in. So I turned the PC off, reseated the RAM, and off we went. Had it with when one of these connectors actually popped out and I didn't notice it. It said, okay, the graphics card isn't getting sufficient power. So I turned it off, plugged it back in, got it where it needs to be. Off we went again. But the fact that it won't even turn on now, even though I know and you can see it's getting power, I don't know. I'm lost. So I'm going to go investigate this and see if I can't figure it out or something. But I don't know. Really don't know. Okay, well I'll be back in a moment when hopefully we'll have some forward progress. Okay then, guys, we're back and I've figured the problem out. As you can see, I've got the the standard power supply cables in, and it fired up straight away. So yeah, not sure what the problem is with the cabling kit, but it cost 80 quid and it doesn't work. So yeah, don't know what to do about that. So it looks like I'm going back to the cable extensions that I've still got, and I'm going to be sending the cabling kit back to overclockers, basically, because like I said, it doesn't work. I've got the correct one for my power supply. I checked that beforehand. I checked it again, and I don't know why it doesn't work. your guess is probably as good, if not better than mine. So yeah, I'm just going to go back to the cable extension kit. I might need to get another PCIe one, because there's only 2 PCIes in there, and as you see I need 3. So yeah, I'm going to basically, I'm gonna have to, oh god damn it, I've got to take out all the other cables. I've got a couple of other cables in there as well that I need to take out. Oh, this is going to be an absolute ball ache, it really is. Yeah, like I said, first thing I did was to check the actual the power cable that goes from the power supply to the plug. I swapped it out for my the one on my existing PC. No joy still, so it wasn't the cable. And then I went about checking the cable extensions, or not extensions, but the actual the braided cables, the mud cables that I bought. And I took out the main ones that I need, you know, the CPU cable, the 24-pin motherboard, ATX, whatever you want to call it, and the PCIe's, and put in the standard ones, and bish bash bosh, worked. So yeah, I did get a Q code 64, but that could have been, I think it was something to do with trying to recognize a USB device, because I plugged it in and then I realized I hadn't plugged in the monitor or the keyboard or the mouse, so I plugged those in quickly. So it could have been something to do with that, about recognizing USB device, which these do run off USB. So yeah, I'm going to take the cables out. I'm going to put them back in the box, and I'm going to send a very, very strongly worded message to overclockers and tell them, you know, pay me my goddamn money. And then then I don't know. I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to find a cable extension, because otherwise it's going to be 2 white cables and one of these standard black cables for the graphics card, which looks horrible. So I could probably make do with cable extensions. It's just going to add a bit more cabling to it, to what is already a very limited amount of space, as we mentioned in the previous segment. But I'll get it sorted. I don't know whether they'll send the replacement out, but I don't know if I want a replacement, because if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work. I have no idea. But yeah, there we go. So if you had a Bitfinex Alchemy 2.0 cable kit, let me know in the comments if it worked, and if it didn't, and so on. But yeah, so I'm going to get to work, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay guys, we're back, and as you can see, we have our replacement cabling kit. So yeah, the last part, initially I asked for a refund, but then I tried to get the standard Seasonic power supply cables in, and if you look, that's how much space I have to get cables in. Even with like managing the cables, you know, tying them off and so on, it wasn't having it with the standard cables. They're just too big. They're way too big. So power supply manufacturers, start boxing things with these. You know, may cost a little bit extra, you can charge a little bit extra, but not everybody has ample amounts of space for cable management in the back of their rigs, I suppose you can say. So yeah, got the replacement kits. Should be fairly straightforward. All I've got to do is plug stuff in, and then hopefully we should be finally good to go. If it doesn't fire up this time, I'm going to shoot myself in the face with something, a cannon preferably. Be nice and quick then, because it's just, like I said, there's just been endless problems with this. Every time I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel, it just turns out to be a bellend with a torch going, no, I've still got more darkness. Enjoy it. So yeah, but anyway, hopefully this is the end. Hopefully this will be the end of the saga. A saga greater than Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and the Fast and the Furious franchises combined. I would think we can all agree on that. So yeah, I'm going to get to work, get all this in, and hopefully we can fire it up and finally get it done, get it finished, get it sorted, and we can celebrate and be cheery and start being part of PC Gaming Master Race again. Yeah, I don't think that one qualifies as being Master Race. I just don't think it manages it. But anyway, I'm going to get to work, and I'll be back in a second. Okay then guys, we're back, and I'm not going to lie to you, it's been about a week and a half since the previous segment where I said, oh, we're just going to put the wires in and we're good to go, and away we go. Another problem arose. So this here is the motherboard cable. Now this end that goes into the motherboard, perfectly fine. And then you got a split end which goes into the power supply. This side, the 14 pin here, was perfectly fine, but this side wasn't having any of it at all. And I checked the connectors, and it probably won't focus in properly there, but basically what was top left should have been bottom right and vice versa, so it didn't fit. Now the kit itself, the first cabling kit I purchased came with cellophane wrapping on it. The second kit didn't, so I'm just going to make a wild guess here and assume that the kit that I got had already been returned for whatever reason. Whatever reason you can think of. So I got onto overclockers and I said, okay, the motherboard cable won't fit into the power supply. I said, okay, we'll sort a replacement out. So I said, okay, fine. And they said, you know, we'll send you another one out, and then just mix and match between both kits, the one we've currently got and the new one that we're going to send out, and until you get a working kit, and then just send us the you know, the other bits back. And I said, okay, that's fine, that's cool. A few days passes and I've not received any delivery confirmation or anything like that from overclockers, so I called them up to try and find out what was happening, only to find out they haven't got any in stock, and they won't have any in stock for about 2, possibly 3 weeks. Now it's only been a week or so since the last segment, because I contacted the manufacturer Bitfinex, and they said basically, oh, okay, what we can do is we can send you out a brand new motherboard cable and 2 CPU cables. I don't know why they sent me 2 CPU cables, but whatever. And then I said, oh, okay, fantastic, brilliant, yep, send them. And then just off the cuff, I just asked, okay, do you know roughly how long it'll take to get to me? They said, well, they're coming from China, so however long that takes. I'm like, right, okay, so possibly a couple of weeks at least. Thankfully, it was only a week though, and we've got the replacement cables right here. As you can see, they've got. Oh, there goes the box. There's the cables. It doesn't mention that if this is the correct cabling kit, because they've got the little codes on it. Like SSC is the one for the Seasonic power supplies. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is, rather than try and cable manage it, with the exception of the motherboard cable, which is a ball ache to get into that socket because there's not a whole lot of space down there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the power supply out, because it's not even screwed in, and I'm going to see if this thing will power on with the with the cables first of all. And if it doesn't, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because honestly I can't get the power supply in with the existing cables from the power supply itself, because they're too bloody big, and they're not flexible enough either for me to bend around and wrap up and so on. So yeah, this is kind of a pivotal point of the build, whether I'll actually get it finished or whether I'll just have a power supply sat by the side of it, because I can't get it into the actual enclosure because the cables are too big. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this all set up and ready to go, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to say hopefully this will be the end, because then another problem will arise more than likely, so I'm just going to say we'll see what happens. That's all we can do, really. So yeah, I'm going to get to work, and I'll be back in a moment when we're ready to see if this thing will power on. So let's get to work. Next time on the Build from Hell, will our cable nightmare ever end? Will our replacement parts arrive in a timely manner? And will I ever stop doing these crappy soap opera style outros? Tune in next time to find out.